when it came out, it got a lot. It almost. Maybe they were doing something right because it got a lot of attention. I didn't do any press for it. I ended up getting my picture in Time magazine without ever doing an interview because they were doing stories about like what's up with this movie. Why are they putting it out in 12 theaters and not talking about it, not putting a title on it? And so it ended up getting some press. People liked it, but it's interesting. Like now, I mean, it's become the term idiocracy has become. There was a guy in the LA Times who wrote an article like a year ago about and cited all the other articles that it's in, and I don't know, maybe just since it came out in 2006, everyone's gotten stupider.
And then the elections and everything, and then people started to see where, politicians were like, yo mama, no, yo mama. And everyone's like, wait a minute, this is just like the movie. It started to become a documentary in many ways because no one saw what the effects of social media would do to culture.
The movie we're talking about today, it came out in 2006, and when it came out, it was a comedy. But nowadays, it kind of feels more like a documentary. Isn't that right, James?
Yeah, it's eerily prescient.
That's
with
right.
The way our society is going. Like today, I checked my mail today, and I got a mailer from FanDuel betting the NFL playoffs in America's #1 sports book. And I'm like, wow, this is just like Idiocracy. This is just like
it.
I was doing some research, and by that I mean I was watching like normie YouTube videos on like Idiocracy, and it's so funny because I would just paused the video, and I went to the bathroom, and I came back. There was just half the screen was an Arby's ad, on the PS4 YouTube app. And I'm like, wow, this is just like Idiocracy. And then I watched another YouTube video where a guy was talking about Idiocracy, and halfway through he got he did a paid advertisement for this tank game, and I'm like, whoa, Idiocracy. And every time I see an advertisement, I point and I say, "Oh, this is Idiocracy."
Say, this is just like Idiocracy.
Yeah, but no, dude, I was watching some Mike Judge some stuff on Infowars, whatever, and some other Idiocracy.
Why was he on Infowars? Do you know the answer to that? Because I watched a little bit of that.
But the thing is now, almost immediately, my YouTube for you thing, YouTube algorithm is just fucked. Now it's top SJW woke fails videos and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this fucking, this sucks so bad. I should have just logged in with a incognito mode or whatever. But
switching to incognito mode on my
it is insane how quickly, if you just look at normal YouTube, how fast descends into Hitlerism. Right off the bat.
Yeah, really.
Because usually, I wanted to, usually, I watch, YouTube videos that are, video essays on, Mark Fisher and, I don't know, Barney. The secret leftism of, Mark Fisher and Barney or whatever. But they're 4 hours long, but I was just okay, let me, watch some, Mike Judge videos or, Joe Rogan clips, and then all of a sudden it's just, I don't know, it's just, cringe SJW stuff. And
yeah,
it's
every recommended thing is
this bit. It's still a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, do people still I guess I don't know enough right wingers in my daily life now to really know if people are watching Epic SJW owns shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, I will say to because I have not introduced you, so I should quickly do that real quick and say. Welcome to Fruitless Patreon and all that good shit. And I'm joined today by James Eric, the cigarette liker himself from Twitter. So
I actually changed my handle because I haven't smoked a real cigarette in it's got to be a couple years now. I don't know.
You're lying.
I can't be I can't be vape liker because that's disgusting. That's degenerate, I guess.
I remember
It's
a few
not.
years ago you tried to change it, like while you were I think quitting initially. It just didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't. Yeah, nothing stuck the same way cigarette liker has. You know,
It has a nice ring to it.
I think it's a good bit to be named cigarette liker and have quit smoking, though. I do think that's kind of funny.
I mean, I like them. I just don't indulge in them.
I liked them too much. That was the problem.
Although quit smoking is a stretch. I mean, I don't know what the long-term effects of this stuff is. I mean, honestly, it's probably going to introduce like diseases like never seen before to your
vapes,
lungs.
You mean? Yeah.
I
don't know.
It's going to bring like medieval age like diseases that we haven't seen before.
I don't know.
Like 1,000 years.
Like
I
I
don't
know that my lungs don't hurt from vaping.
Yeah.
The way they did when I was smoking a lot, but that could also mean it's because it's like a secret cancer that it's giving me.
Yeah.
A surprise cancer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too down, but ever since what happened last year, I've been kind of like become really neurotic about like my health. Like,
Sure.
I started like eating healthy and stuff. Like, I started losing weight, and it's not really like a New Year's resolution because I feel like if I make a New Year's resolution, it's just going to be something that I just like drop and quit immediately. But I started like a couple months ago, just like logging my calories and stuff and like trying to be healthy, trying to like get everything in order. But then I got this like nicotine, like mango flavored, like juice that I'm just like dumping into my lungs at the same time. That has like repercussions that we don't quite have enough empirical data to know what the long-term use is. And it's like, I don't know, maybe that's going to create cancer too, but I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know, man.
A lot of this shit's just random. It's just like genetics or whatever. But I mean, it's not that like you can do things to make your health better, but a lot of it's just like you just get a bad roll in the dice. I kind of feel like.
Yeah, we're in a weird period because we don't have like the scientific knowledge yet on vaping because it's so new. I don't know.
And also all of our food is like garbage and poison and like corn syrup slurry. And also just like a certain film.
I was going to do that. I was thinking the same thing as I was like, maybe we're going to find out that vaping was like watering the plants with Gatorade.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to like Fruitless Pod. I've been listening like your back catalog of like episodes, and I will say, first off, very, very proud of what you've done with the show. It's very good.
Thank you.
Like, it's great. But I was listening to your horror episodes, like episodes on like I really liked your zombie video essay. And I will say though, today we're talking about the scariest movie of all. Because it's real.
Because it's real.
Idiocracy. The scariest horror documentary.
That's right. Yeah, this is like there's films like Solo or something, and then there's Idiocracy, which is even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, so it's kind of tricky to talk about Idiocracy in 2024 because I think there's a lot of shit about this. Well, because it came true, but also, I mean, well, we're riffing right now on this cliche, right? It is so like this has been rehashed so many times.
What if we're gonna spit the whole episode? What if I just keep
by the hour mark? I'm gonna start screaming like, okay.
I think people are getting mad at me on Twitter for reposting. Everybody who says Idiocracy.
Because I started doing it too because of your bit.
Yeah.
So
I've been trying to stick to people who I know are like joking about it. You know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, to break kayfabe, I don't actually believe in that. You know, but you know.
Right.
So what if though? You know.
What if though? You know.
Yeah.
No, I know. I how I saw it is like us retweeting all that was like we were actually secretly advertising this episode, planting the seeds out there,
yeah,
that's how I'm thinking of it. No, so
I
the
think
thing about
this
movie, right? Exactly. Thing about this movie is it's been so discussed that so you have the first level, I feel like, right, which is it's like a documentary, bro. And then the next level that's been talked to death, but is worth acknowledging in case, just so we could say we do know this part is, it's a eugenics movie. Okay, we got it. Like everybody's talked about that before. In fact, on the Wikipedia page in themes, it just explains eugenics.
Yeah.
So whoever was editing the Wikipedia thing was sick of this too. That's how well known that critique is of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got that, and then I don't know. You have like the critique after that, a little more of that. That's like this movie is the mindset of the snobby upper middle class liberal. Which is true, but, well, I think it was true when it came out. What I'm kind of interested in talking about is that I think nowadays this movie is more reflective of the mindset of, like, people who drive themselves crazy online and, like, online reactionaries.
Yeah.
This is like a half a thought, and I'm hoping with just some riffing or whatever, we'll slowly develop it into a thought. You know what I mean? But my thought is that, like, there is a sort of, like, sense that when you go crazy online, you know what I mean? You're usually somebody who kind of feels like a loser a bit or something like that, but they're kind of semi-intellectually minded or whatever. And they just see the world around them as run by stupid people. Everybody is a moron. Everybody is a NPC, Yeah. And like this movie truly just believes like everyone is so fucking stupid. Like obviously that's the joke of it, but like it's so cruel in how it believes that, which is part of why it's funny. But like, I think that there's a case like beyond just the eugenics shit that this is like maybe a fascist movie.
Yeah, I think that it kind of goes into the I don't want to say dialectic because it sounds pretentious, but the sort of dialectic of liking things that are bad. In that, I do think it is a very funny movie, and I think there's a good movie in there, but it is like a fundamentally also a very evil movie. But I think you can still find it funny while also acknowledging that it comes from like a very misanthropic worldview. Like, I mean, I think that the way the movie's framed, as like, well, stupid people just like poor people just kept reproducing. Is really bad. Like if you take out the first like the first 10 minutes of the movie though, like the introduction, like there is a funny movie in there with like the idea of just like being in a
everybody's
world where
become so stupid.
Everyone's stupid. And also like the whole thing of like that sort of like tech feudalism, that sort of like government that's being completely like taken over by corporations is like, I think somewhat like a possible dystopia is somewhat prescient. Like you see a lot of cyberpunk, that sort of like thing of like corporations like having that much power. And, in our world today, we see a lot of like corporations do have like a lot of power over like, like governments and like the institutions and stuff. But I think that it's sort of like a dialectical materialism with a head injury, and that the way they come away with is just that it's because we let this happen because people are they just love jacking off too much and eating their sugary sweets.
That's the problem.
Like,
like anti-Semitism, the quote, like anti-Semitism or fascism is like the socialism, the dialectical materialism of fools, right?
Yeah.
There's something like Idiocracy is kind of like that for now. If you're not a raging anti-Semite, like one of the other ways of like doing material analysis for morons. Because I mean, that's the thing about this movie is like, outside of the jokes, like I think if you genuinely believe this movie is reflective of the world around you, you're stupid. You're what the movie's making fun of at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know how to make sense of that, but
yeah, it's like you think you're Joe, but like you are Frito. Like if you say Idiocracy is a documentary, you're actually Frito. You're the guy who's like pointing at the screen, going like, that's just like real life, you know?
Yeah,
so
yeah. Because that's the thing. Because I think what the movie does kind of, I like that it shows, but it just doesn't do anything interesting with is the way that like screens are everywhere. Like everyone's overstimulated all the time. Like it's just so like modern life being so loud, you know?
Yeah, and it is bad. You know, I don't think it's good that we're like constantly hooked on this like constant dopamine like cycle, you know. And I do think that like some things, like I think like TikTok is definitely making people go like insane online.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you just look at like the sort of like occultism of like the like this you're sort of like urban reactionary or suburban reactionary. It's just like I don't know, it's just like it's not good.
No, yeah, and I mean, we've both been online enough in the last few years to see the way Twitter drives people insane. Like people go crazy on there all the time. But the thing is, I don't think it's that it just makes them stupid. I think there's more to it and that's the problem is like and then the other thing about this movie too is I don't think it realizes that it's like it can't be self-aware enough to deal with, like, it is one of those loud screens in the big consumerism dystopia.
Yeah.
Idiocracy is one of those.
Yeah, because I actually wrote my notebook. I said, like, a lot of these jokes feel like something that a person in Idiocracy would laugh at.
Yeah.
Like this is like the scene of like Ass, the movie, where it's just like a screen with like a farting butt. Like, that's funny, but you wanted to put that in the movie. Right. It's dumb, and you're just like having an excuse to put something very dumb in the movie. And I mean, I think it's funny, but like it is dumb still. It's just like it's like an excuse to make a dumb joke. Like you think you're too smart for it. Like, oh, these rubes will laugh at this, but you know.
Yeah, like
it's still like
a
dumb joke.
What does the movie want you to think when you're watching the what's the show Frito's watching, the like nut kicking show?
Out my balls.
Out of my balls. What does the movie want you to think about that when you watch it, right? Because it's like, it does want you to find it funny, right? Because it's a comedy movie, but also like the point of the joke is like, isn't it so ridiculous that this is what society's laughing at?
But like, I mean, the thing is, like, Three Stooges is still funny. Like people, I mean, other than like the handful of like episodes where it's like, oh, be on the lookout, fellas. You beep, escape from the internment camps. Other than those like episodes, it is very funny. But it's like, you know, slapsticks has been around for like 100 years at least. I mean, I don't know the history of slapstick. Probably cavemen were laughing at like guys getting hit by like clubs in the balls or whatever.
Yeah, like I don't think that's two things. I don't think that's the crisis of like modernity, is that everyone's laughing at slapstick too much or like cheering on monster trucks too much. But then more than that,
I mean, oh dude, I went to a demolition derby, I think 2 years ago, one or two, I think maybe last year. It's so sick. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
So much fun. I took my girl with me. You know, we got some like hot dogs. It was fucking nuts. It was so cool.
But the second thing with the slapstick thing is there is an artistry to slapstick. And we know that because the Three Stooges are remembered as like great filmmakers or, you know, artists in their own right?
Yeah.
So like, that's not the problem. I just I don't know. I know it's like, it's kind of beating a dead horse because this movie has been called shitty for a while, but it is really, I watched it for the first time now and I'm here to agree. It's shitty.
Yeah, I mean, I think I texted you about halfway through. I'm like, man, this is a slog. And it's like...
It's an hour and 20 minutes. It shouldn't be a slog.
Yeah. Like, honestly, they could have cut it down to like 71 minutes, like Master of Disguise. Like, had it like 70 minutes, like slightly over an hour. I think it'd be perfect.
Oh, man.
Do you want to go through the notes? Like, do you want to go through like the plot, or do you just want to like kind of do a little freeform type of thing?
You know, maybe we loosely go through the plot, but we will likely go on rabbit trails. You know what I mean? So very loosely going through the plot, but open for going in various directions. Okay, so the way the movie starts, right? And I didn't realize that the movie completely spells out that it's a eugenics thing in the beginning.
Oh, it's very specific. Like it's very like.
I was genuinely stunned at like how vile that opener is.
And the thing is, like, I don't even think, because here's the thing. I love Mike Judge. Mike Judge is insanely funny. I love King of the Hill. It's one of the best shows.
Office Space is amazing. I love Office Space. Yeah.
Actually, they had, Mike Judge had, what was it? He had a 2-movie contract with Fox. And so the first movie was Office Space. And then the second was this one. Mm-hmm. Which I guess Fox like tried to bury, like they only put it in like a couple theaters.
Yeah,
like Fox really didn't want people to see this movie, which is funny because like I watched that Alex Jones interview and he'd like act like it was like a conspiracy, like the deep state didn't want you, like this is the movie the media doesn't want you to see. Like people watching Idiocracy will make them wake up to like the parenthesis globalists. But I just think it's just like they thought it was a shitty movie, wasn't going to make any money, so they just kind of shelved it. But
yeah. Well, I think you had mentioned that they'd had a bunch of their funding yanked with special effects, which is like why the CGI just looks like shit in the movie, which is kind of fine because I mean the movie is a goofy comedy, so like bad CGI, that's fine, but like I don't know, it's pretty bad.
yeah
But yeah, so they spell out the problem is that all the people that should be having kids, they're all the ones that are so careful about having kids, but all of those poor dirty people, they have lots of kids. That's the problem, is trailer park trash is taking over America.
Yeah. Intellectual people are famously known for never being horny.
Yeah.
Never wanting to bust raw.
That's a really good point. It's like every classic novel is like the most horny thing you've ever read, usually.
Yeah, like any of like the great minds of like history, like scientists or like whatever, they were just like, they had just like the most unhealthy fixation on someone. I don't want to take that any further.
But you get it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let your mind run wild. The smart people aren't having kids anymore. And then it comes to the modern day being 2006, and we've got Average Joe. We got Joe, played by why am I blanking on this guy's name? He's really famous.
Oh shit. I wrote my notes. Yeah, that's why I took notes. Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, when Luke Wilson is in the movie, that shit's gonna be mid.
You know what? I'll push back with Royal Tenenbaums, but other than that, I think you're right.
Like they cast the most average actor to play the most average man.
So the military decides that Average Joe, Luke Wilson, he's going to be someone they're going to test this like time capsule pod thing on, that'll store him in store humans for the future, right?
Yeah.
And so they're going to just do it for a year, and so they put him in the pod and all that. What I think was actually a funny joke I wish they did more with was going through just how average he was, and they were going through all the different bell curves that he was a perfect 50 on, and that made me laugh. Like just being the complete middle of everything was pretty funny to me.
Yeah, it is funny to be the most middle. Like the best at being the best at being average,
just always right at the top of the bell curve,
yeah.
But yeah, so they lock him up. They're gonna in the little cryogenic pod, and he's gonna supposedly only be in there for a year. It's a test, but then how does this even happen? It was the military guy ends up getting in trouble for running a prostitution ring.
He's hanging out with this pimp. His name was Upgrade. Spelled with a Y and 2 D's, but that was played by one of the guys from Ghetto Boys. He was in. They had like a bunch of their songs in Office Space.
Yeah. Okay. So the fast forwarding here is like, yeah, he and then a sex worker, which is not the terminology they use for the whole movie, but whatever.
Is the other word, like, is that problematic now? The P word?
Oh, I don't know if I don't know that, but they call her a whore for most of it.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that.
That was more what I was referring to.
They use a lot of problematic language, like ironically, in this movie.
Yeah,
and
it's very of its moment. I think it's a very aughts era. Like,
I mean, I feel like when did it stop being cool? It feels like during like O'Bungler, it like people were like using a lot of slurs in comedy, and then like after that, it kind of like dwindled off. But
for me, I think like when I feel like I saw a big shift, but I think it was definitely dying down before then. But like Trump changed things too. I think in part because like it's one thing to be like ironic. I'm racist. Ironically, when you can believe that racism has been defeated. But then like when Charlottesville was happening and you go, I'm racist, ironically, everyone's like, I don't know if it's ironic. Yeah. So there is a lot of slurs in this movie. Like I was kind of stunned by that too. Like I didn't expect there to be that much of it.
Which like, I don't know, like some of the, I mean, I'm going to say this is probably maybe a bad thing, but some of the slur jokes I thought were kind of funny. Like the end, when the president, when Joe, forget his last name, when Not Sure gives his rousing speech at the end of the movie, and he drops like the F slur in like the middle of it, where he's like, and I hope for a day when people can read books and not be a beep. I'm just like, okay, that's pretty fun. Like with the swelling music and like the emotional swelling music on top of that, it's just like, oh man, that's like a perfect joke. But then it's like also like it's like, well, but can't really do that now.
Some of the use in the movie, I think, is kind of it's understandable because I think it I don't know. I think of God, what is American Idiot, right? With Green Day, where he's like, well, maybe I'm an F slur, America, right? Like it was kind of in the air at the time of like. That was what the like right wingers and the that kind of what they were saying to us, like that was how it was getting framed. I don't think it's necessarily wrong to make a character say that, like in that context of like trying to show that they're a moron.
Well, I think it works in Idiocracy because usually when they say a slur, it's a bad, awful, disgusting, poor person saying it. So
right then it's fine.
Bad. It's fine because it's bad. A dirty poor.
Right, it teaches you
it's being homophobic.
God, this movie sucks so bad.
Okay, so Joe and the sex worker, they get frozen in the cryopod, and then what's his name? Officer Collins. He gets busted for hanging out, like smoke. He basically smoked too tough. His swag was too different. His bitch was too bad. So they had to shut him down. So 500 years pass. People just like completely forgot how to like recycle or like do anything with their garbage. So there was a garbage pile up, and then the future coffin thing slides down straight into a guy's house.
That's Frito.
Yeah,
so Joe wakes up, doesn't realize he's just been in a trash avalanche, and gets in an argument with Frito before getting kicked out. And from here, the movie becomes like there is a plot and it goes somewhere, but a lot of it is mostly just Luke Wilson walking around the world and realizing how stupid everyone is. And that's kind of the bit over and over and over, which there are some really good ones in there, but overall it's like, that's what's going on for most of the movie. It's just wandering around different locations and there's gags going on everywhere, right?
Yeah. Some pretty good gags, some pretty good like background gags, some visual gags. Fuddruckers becomes butt fuckers.
Yeah.
Which is another one of those dumb jokes that is just like so juvenile that's I kind of find it funny.
Yeah, I think the initial like break, destroying the military facility and then putting down a big sign that says "Future Site of a Fuddruckers" was really funny to me for some reason.
Yeah, yeah. I think the idea that a military personnel would ever face any an America can military officer would ever face justice for his crimes is a little bit funny.
Yeah, that's a good bit. Mike Judge was really getting them.
Anti-imperialist Mike Judge.
That's right. Third worldist Mike Judge.
Maybe Mike Judge is a Maoist third worldist, and that Idiocracy is actually a movie of like America under J.D. Pond, and the rest of the world is kind of like a utopia. And then the reactionary America cans are quarantined off.
See, there you go. See, that's the subtext of the film. It's really coming out once we're talking about it. Yeah, so I mean, he gets arrested essentially because they figure out that he doesn't have a barcode on his wrist that everybody has now, which the barcode thing was funny to me because it basically doesn't really it doesn't matter that much in the story. It's just there mostly to like why he's a fugitive in the beginning, you know what I mean? But I think it's funny because that's what every crazy end times person I knew growing up thought that the Mark of the Beast would look like.
That's literally what the first thing I thought when I saw the barcode was like, oh, I know this story. I know what this is.
Yeah, I found this at jesusislord.com. I've seen this before. The 3 bars dividing the barcode are 666, you know. It's right there.
I wanna, so around this scene, there's a bit of narration. And by the way, whenever the narrator comes on in this movie, you're just about to hear the most Hitlerite shit. But one thing he says is that language has deteriorated to be a mixture of hillbilly, inner city slang, and something else. Oh, various grunts. Which okay, hold up. All right, wait, pause. What?
Well, this is the film. It's fundamentally going, you know, the poor white people and the poor black people have won. That's the problem.
Yes,
that's what it's saying, right?
Establishment fears.
Yeah, that's what it is. Well, but that's what this film. See, what it actually is this movie is a communist utopia. Where the working class has risen up, and this is a fascist looking at, you know, the communist utopia. Angry at the proles.
Yeah.
No, maybe not quite there, but like I would say the film definitely thinks like is anti-democracy. I would say like it does it's like people should not run things.
I mean, it's kind of funny because it's almost like fully automated. It's like a fully automated society. Like no one knows how to run things, like run anything, like do anything. Like everybody is just completely at a loss to do anything, but they still have like all these machines that do a lot of tasks for people. But I'm just wondering, like, who built the machines? Like, how does that work? Like, is that like, were they built before people went really dumb and they're just like been there for like hundreds of years, or did like dumb people build those machines? Because like a lot of that stuff is like AI powered and like requires like some level of sophistication and know how to like program that stuff. I mean, I'm probably just overthinking it, but like it just seems weird that like everything, like you pay for everything with like a barcode on your arm, and then everything, like, there's like a centralized system, like everything like links to your account, I guess. They can scan your barcode. I mean, that seems like a pretty advanced like technology, which I just find weird that a future that's so dumb could like actually do that, like build that infrastructure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, see, this is what's hard about this movie, because, you know, my initial reaction is, yeah, we're overthinking it, right? Like this movie is a very goofy comedy, but then also because of its like cultural reputation as being like a documentary now, bro, it like that encourages you to analyze the movie. So you're just kind of in this like lose-lose situation where if you analyze it, you're like, this is a stupid movie. And then people go, well, it's supposed to be a stupid movie. It's like, okay. I don't know what to do with that. Because it's making claims. It's making political claims that are worth like looking at. You know what I mean? Like
political claims such as maybe you're just genetically superior to poor people.
That's right.
Have you ever thought of that?
So yeah, we get a look at this horrible, stupid society. I'm trying to think of all the little things that like happen throughout it. Everybody's like porn obsessed and constantly consuming. Everything's like fucking fast food. There's a real like
the cops are basically the same. The cops in the healthcare system are pretty much unchanged.
Okay, like dumb gag that worked on me was the doctor's office where nobody there is a medical professional. It's just like a big robotic thing, and there's like these things he's supposed to stick like in his mouth, his ear, and his ass, and they keep mixing up which goes into which. Oh, and water has been replaced by, what is it called?
Brondo, the thirst mutilator.
Brondo. It's like I don't know. It feels like it's supposed to be part Gatorade, part energy drink. Like the marketing vibe looks like energy drink, but
it's got electrolytes.
But it's got electrolytes, which is another one of the actually funny jokes in this consistently. Oh God! So he goes through the carceral system and he escapes using his intelligence.
That's a joke that lands for me every time, which is, excuse me, I'm actually supposed to get out of prison today. And then the guard slaps him. He's like, you have to go in the other line.
Dumbass, getting out is that line.
Yeah, and then when he escapes, there's like the two turrets, and the one they're just like shooting at random, and then one just like shoots the other one. That's also another visual gag that I think is very good.
Yeah.
Just the fact that like all the automated machines don't work, like the Roomba that just like goes back and forth in like the same spot. And everything just has grime except for one like little strip. Just keeps hitting the wall and backing up and then hitting the wall, and then just goes, your floor has been cleaned every time.
Here's a piece of evidence for my this film is a fascist movie thing. I think a big part of this film relies on like a politics of disgust. You know what I mean? Like the whole movie feels disgusting, and that's the joke. But also, like, for me, that starts rubbing me in a weird way after a while, where it's a real like, man, this society really needs a cleansing, huh? You know what I mean? A cleaning. I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Everything.
If only there was someone who could just run things, like someone who had, let's say, a superior intellect, like maybe better genetics, like just genetically better, like smarter, could be like be in charge of everything, and then fix everything. You know, like a top guy, like a top guy who's the smartest guy in the world. Like maybe the smartest guy in the world should be in charge of things, fixing the society.
Obviously about to return to this, but like, right, this is totally the joke of the movie from like a fascist worldview is that the gene line has gotten so fucked up that even like the most average person in today is put in the position of having to be like the Ubermensch, but like, I still think it's a fascist logic, even if that's kind of a joke. You know what I mean? Is like, because they still do believe like what needs to happen is we need to get the most well-bred, smart people in office. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's just like a technocratic
it's
view.
Technocratic for sure.
And I think that's kind of fascistic.
What I would say is it's technocratic, but then if you combine that with other stuff going on in the movie, then it becomes fascistic. Like technocracy isn't inherently fascist, but if you add a politics of disgust and resentment and like all that stuff under it, then I start to be like, that looks fashy to me.
Or if you're a theory nerd, ressentiment.
Have you ever read or heard John Ganz's jock creep theory of fascism?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
I'll put it in the show notes. It's like it comes from a Substack of his, but he would bring it up on podcasts a lot. Is the idea that there's like kind of two different types of fascism that are always kind of have to work together a little bit. But you can kind of see it as like two wings of it. So there's like jock fascism and then like nerd creep fascism. Okay. So like the jock fascism is what he was describing as like Italian fascism was this way. It's all about being tough and popular and like dominating the weaker people around you. As the creep fascism, the nerd fascism, that comes from like a politics of like resentment. You know what I mean? Like of being the little pushed around nerd that's smarter than everybody, and they don't fucking realize that you're actually smart and they're all idiots. You know what I mean? Looking resentfully at, so he links at like German fascism was more that way. Like I think of like Hitler being like an art school dropout and shit like that, right? This movie is, I think, fascist in the creep fascist way.
Yes.
where it's like a looking down on everyone around you.
Yeah,
as
it's
being...
that like it's like that Robert Crumb, the R. Crumb comic of it's like that, that like just like creepy little man saying like I hate every person I see. And it's just a normal guy.
Fuck that guy.
Which is literally just what Mike Judge is in this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's a combination of all the things that annoy him put together and then made into a dystopia. And I think that's why, whether he intends it or not, it starts coming out as a fascist thing, because it's like that resentment politics. It's not like here's this like systemic problem that's at the root of everything. It's like, okay, what's Mike Judge's nightmare world? All of the most annoying people running the world. And for him, these are the things that annoy him. He's annoyed by monster trucks and wrestling and you know what I mean? Like fast food.
I wrote down a few times in my notes that for the filmmakers, the worst thing you can be is just like horny. Like the stupidest people are just like people who just like ever get horny.
Yeah, that's
like it's like the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, because that's like most of, I think maybe the least funny jokes to me are, but maybe not. I don't know. The ones that didn't work for me anyway were a lot of the just like everybody just wants to fuck all the time jokes. You know what I mean? Where I just like
like every single restaurant is like a rub and tug place.
Yeah.
Like they sell like, which I was like when they first did it, it was like with Starbucks. I'm like, what the fuck is egregious in Starbucks? Why Starbucks? And I guess it's just like the joke is everything is just like so like sexualized. But it kind of just felt like a weird swipe for no reason. Like it just felt like a thing where it's like, I just don't get it. Like it just seemed like so out of nowhere.
Well, and since we live in the, in idiocracy now, right? What I think he's not right about, what I think we could see now he wasn't right about is, well, he was right that there is a degree of oversaturation of sex that's happened in culture from like the prevalence of porn and stuff like that, right? But like what he didn't seem to get that I think would have made the movie a little smarter is if nobody wanted to have actual sex. I think that would make it smarter. Yes. If everybody was like glued to like a screen watching porn all the time, but nobody like actually wanted to have any human contact with someone. Yeah. Because that's how I think that's a lot more the present.
Where were we in the plot? So Joe, we get to the part where he takes the IQ test. He takes the IQ test.
Yeah.
They find out he's the smartest guy in the world. He takes the IQ test. He escapes from prison, and then he gets caught again, and then he's brought to the president because he's the smartest man in the world due to being an average man from 500 years ago, because the poors, I have to remind you, kept having too much sex, and they're poor because they're genetically inferior because they're dumb. I think you have to remember that. Okay, you have to keep that in mind. This is what the movie's about.
Yeah, because that's what ruins it every time I started to enjoy it. Is I remembered what the framing device was, and I'm like, this sucks. Like it's so close to being funny, and then it would just make me mad because I'm like, oh, this is just about how poor people suck. This is horrible.
Yeah,
but no. Real quick, during that time, he reconvenes with Rita. We should using her name now. Not just calling her the sex worker because that feels kind of fucked. Rita reconvenes with Rita and Frito briefly, or before eventually losing them while running. And so when he gets brought to the president, he uses that as a chance to bring Frito back, as his lawyer. Oh yeah, because that is a chunk we skipped here. But like when he gets taken to court briefly, and Frito is his lawyer.
Yes, he got his lawyering degree at Costco.
At Costco, okay, that's a good. That
they
was
sell
a
him
good
at Costco. Yeah, the whole thing with his dad had to pull some strings. Like he's like a nepotism baby at the Costco school.
That's so that part's good. Actually, Costco is a good bit in this. Like if it stood alone, them going to Costco would be a great scene. You know what I mean?
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
That's one of the best jokes. Yeah, there's just all the hints of a better movie throughout this that drive me insane.
Oh, I mean, circling back, the scene where Frito's watching Out My Balls on TV, and like almost the entire screen is ads. Like there's only maybe 30% of the TV is like the actual show, and the rest of it's ads. I'm like, okay, I gotta hand it to Mike Judge on that one. Like advertising has become pretty annoying.
Oh, and just so much worse. Like everything online sucks now. Like okay, like Instagram. I like Instagram, and I would use it, but every fourth post is an ad, and it just pisses me off enough that I don't actually scroll it.
Yeah,
it's so annoying.
I mean, it just seems like even like the fact that like I told you, I'm trying to get healthy this year. I'm trying to get in shape, and I've been using the MyFitnessPal app. And I've been using this app for like 12 years. I've been using this forever, and I don't know what's so funny.
I don't know if you're being genuine right now, but
no, I would be like, oh, I'm getting a little tubby, and so I'd go on the app and start calorie logging, and then once I lost a bit of weight, I would be like, oh, I don't need this anymore, and then I would just gain it all back, and then I'll just do it again for 12 years.
Sorry, when you were saying the 12 years thing, I wasn't laughing at you. Use the app, that's fine. It sounded like you were doing a sponsored promotion out of nowhere. That was why I laughed so hard.
Oh, that'd be so funny. Oh, that'd be so good. Oh my god, I wish I had thought of that. Shit. Okay, so
you said I've been using it for 12 years now.
Oh shit! And I've had great results. Keep in mind, figure. And then I just show my disgusting eggplant shaped body. Anyway, so
no, but
I want to get to the point. They started I was off for a couple years, and then I started using it again, and I've had really good success with it. When I'm actually sticking to the program, but they put a whole bunch of features behind paywall. They have a $20 a month subscription, and then it's they have a barcode scanner. It's oh, you have to pay $20 a month or whatever it is to use it, and it's just man, this sucks. It just feels like everything just feels bad now. It just feels like everything's worse. That term used, the inshitification of the internet. It's just everything is just everything is just slightly worse every year.
Yeah, it's just more ads.
I don't really know if it's ever going to get better, but it just feels like with Twitter, with X.com, with X, or with all the media sites. It's just all so intrusive, ads and shit.
Yeah. It's part of this broad just constant overstimulation of screens in our lives, and ads being just one of the most irritating examples of that, which is again something the movie could have done way better, I think, but just doesn't quite go. Yeah, I think you're right though. That's a thing that I think was smart, and I wish they'd pulled that thread farther, more. You know what I mean? Rather than everybody's so stupid, which know, as great as that is for some of the gags, it's just not a political critique.
Yeah. I mean, there's this thing that I think some people Scott Adams is a good example, or Mike Judge with Office Space, that it's an anti-corporate but pro capitalism, where there's this sort of idea, and I think it's sort of a Gen X. It feels to me like a Gen X politics of corporations are bad, advertising is terrible, they're trying to sell you shit, they're trying to sell you crap, but there isn't any idea of why that marketing exists, why they want to try to sell you this stuff. There's an idea that they're overproducing, and they need to unload all this crap, this mass produced garbage. They're with advertising or whatever, that there's no idea of why why all this mass produced crap, plastic garbage exists in the first place, which is because of capitalism or whatever. They don't have any sort of way of critiquing that. So it's this idea of well, business is good obviously, but capitalism is good, but the corporations, oh boy, I hate those corporations, they're so dumb.
Okay, I think I found a connection to the online thing from kind of what we're saying here, right? It's because at the end of the day, this movie it doesn't have politics really. It has
I mean, I think the eugenics stuff, I actually don't think Mike Judge actually believes in that. I feel it's not an intentional thing. He didn't think that hard about it.
No, I don't think
he
he did.
Framing device. He just didn't realize that was what he was doing. I don't think it's an intentionally fascist movie. I don't think Mike Judge is a fascist. I think he's probably just a normal. he's kind of like a libertarian-ish liberal guy, you know?
Yeah, but this is where it all this actually connects, though, because what he did make, though, was a movie that the politics is about annoyance, about things that irritate you, right? Because at the end of the day, that is what the critique is this is all the annoying aspects of American culture, right? For Mike Judge specifically. Yes. And I think that is exactly what online does to you, is make you focus primarily on annoyances rather than on serious material thing. So like,
yes, most
of like the post-left people, you know, almost all of them boil down to like, oh, I was a leftist, and then I started seeing like annoying 16-year-olds on Twitter, and then now I'm a Nazi.
Yeah.
And like, what that is a politics that's coming from just annoyance. You know, when you let being like the kinds of people that are irritating guide your politics, it becomes maybe, if not inherently fascist, because I've been saying fascist a lot, but more than that, it's just like reactionary, maybe would be a better term for it. It just makes you allowing your annoyances to guide your politics makes you a reactionary person eventually.
Yes. I mean, by definition, it's being reactionary. You're reacting
you're reacting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think that Mike Judge didn't even mean this. I think he is just, by making a movie about all the things that annoy him, and even if the things that annoyed him were like right-wing things, there would necessarily be a reactionary side to that, because he doesn't have anything deeper to say than these are annoying things that annoy me. Is people jacking off all the time.
Yeah, it's people being rude. It's like people being a little bit too rude, like people being a little bit too crass in public.
Yeah. So, God, what of the movie have we actually gotten here? We got right. So he got made president. That's what we were getting at, right? Not president. Sorry, Minister of the Interior or something.
Yes.
Whatever. And he is able to use that to bring back Frito and to bring back Rita. Frito as his legal counsel, and Rita, he tells them that he's gonna fuck her because everyone's obsessed with sex, so they're like, that's cool reasoning for me, because you know how culture's obsessed with sex. Right?
Yeah, there's also we didn't even mention the time machine. So
God,
at this point there's a time machine that they're trying to get to. Basically, he's trying to go back and undo the future that's happening, but that's a reveal for later in the movie.
Yeah, and so he ends up in this agreement, like, okay, I'll do this Ministry of Interior shit if, like, at the end of whatever, I can just be taken to the time machine, you know, or he's going to try to get there, or he's going to, you know, this is the way to get everybody not running after him while he figures out a way to get to the time machine.
The scene where he asks Frito for directions to the time machine and Frito tries to like give him directions, I'm just like, damn, he just like me for real. That's like exactly how I would give directions.
The bit that got me, like, I don't know, I was like semi cold faced while he was doing it. Then what happened was he's like, okay, let me start from the beginning. So you know where the time machine's at as this like starting point, and that got
me. That's good.
That's great.
All right. So
what they find out, as him trying to be Minister of Interior, is that there's like no agriculture has been growing at all, right? And so he's supposed to go out to the fields, I guess. I don't know what it's supposed to be. The corn. It looks like a dead cornfield or something. Yeah. He's supposed to go out there, see what's going on.
Yeah. There's a drought. The plants aren't growing.
Yeah. It's just dirt, right? And he realizes that what the problem is that they've been feeding the fucking, what's it called again?
Plants.
No,
feeding the Brondo.
Brondo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're feeding the Brondo to the plants because electrolytes are what plants crave.
Yeah. I think that's probably the most well-known scene from the movie. And it has this kind of quality of do you ever watch Mr. Show with Bob and David, the HBO sketch comedy show with Bob Odenkirk and David Cross?
I think I've seen like individual sketches of it, but I've never like watched an episode.
Okay. So my favorite sketch from Mr. Show is called The Story of Everest, where a man is telling a story about his trip up Mount Everest. And every time he gets like halfway through the story, he falls backwards and knocks a shelf of thimbles off the wall. And then he keeps doing it and keeps doing it. And basically, every time he starts telling a story, he falls backwards. He knocks a shelf full of thimbles off the wall, and they do it like it's like a 9-minute long sketch. They do it like 7 or 8 times, and it's one of the funniest sketches I've ever seen because it goes on so long. It stops being funny, and then it goes on longer, and it starts being funny again.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about It's What Plants Crave. I think what makes it funny to me is the fact that they keep going in this circle of like, it's got electrolytes. What are electrolytes? It's what plants crave. And then one guy goes, Brondo has electrolytes. And then it just starts over again.
It's just this like circular minute-long conversation of just saying the same corporate slogan over and over and over. It's a good bit. I mean,
so he decides that they should use water instead of Brondo to water the plants, and then they do this whole bit where it's like, "Oh, you mean the stuff that's in the toilet?" And they act like he's a idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just lies to them and says he can talk to plants, and they believe him because they're dum-dums. And then he asks them what they want, and they say water. So, of course, the plants want water. So they switch over from Brondo to water. And
but because of the damn attention spans of these stupid people, they can't wait longer than, how long is it before they're mad that the plants aren't randomly back? It's like a day, right?
I think it's like the next day. The Brondo Corporation shares drop to 0 overnight and lay off 75% of the population because almost everybody in the country works for Brondo.
Now, this part rubbed me the wrong way, I think. This is one of the jokes that I think doesn't work to me. Or maybe not joke, but segments, right? In part because this is where it starts really showing that this is about poor people. Because it's all these unemployed workers now. And so like once that's clearly what's going on, it's like, oh, that's really nasty. I don't know. But then more than that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just, what jobs are they doing? I understand this isn't a world that's been built that carefully, like, this whole plot, but like, what jobs?
Yeah.
The only job I see in the whole movie is Rito being a lawyer and the guy welcoming people to Costco. Those are the jobs thus far. Everyone's a consumer aside from that.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I guess they work for Brondo in some capacity, but I don't really know, because I think the idea is like Brondo owns all the other corporations, like Carl's Jr. So it's just sort of like everybody works for like the one corporation, and then I guess I don't know what they actually do, because like you're right, you don't see anybody like actually work in the movie.
Which and also everything's automated in the movie. I thought that's the whole point. So what are the jobs? How
does their economy work?
Now, what would have been smart? What would have been smart is if everybody had bullshit jobs. You know what I mean? Like everybody was sitting at a desk doing nothing.
I mean, then it would just be a utopia, and it would just be like fully automated luxury capitalism. Like they basically like conquered Marxism once and for all by like resolving the dialectical tension in capitalism through like liberal democracy. Like resolving the internal contradictions and like having just like full employment with like everything fully automated and whatever. But
yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is a communist utopia through the lens of an angry reactionary.
Yeah, it's like it's like, the reading. Have you ever seen Veerhoeven's Starship Troopers?
Oh yeah, I was actually thinking about bringing that movie up at some point as a better satire. I think it'd be a really good pairing, like watching them together, because I think that Starship Troopers is like a parody of fascism, and then Idiocracy is like a fascist parody. Yeah, it would be. Idiocracy would be on a screen in Starship Troopers. Yes. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. No, that's like a movie that the Society of Starship Troopers would produce. But this is a thing. Okay, here's a missing chunk in Idiocracy that I think is initially I was kind of like, well, again, I'm expecting too much of a silly movie, but when I'm thinking about it more from when it came out, it is a weird absence. What's going on with war? Yeah, this is a Bush era movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's no mention of it. I mean, it does seem like a kind of like, because the thing is, everyone really loves guns. Everyone's always shooting guns.
they love their guns and they love their like, you know, their flag, and like they have like the flag shirts and like they love their jets and their loud ass like, you know, tanks and shit. And it seems like they really like, it seems like a militaristic society, but they also don't see, you know, anything outside of that society. So I don't know. I mean, that's a weird like oversight, or maybe that's just like a thing where he doesn't really think much of it. Like maybe he's just like mad that people, I don't know, people love their guns in too dumb a way. I mean, the thing is though that he's a gun owner. Like Mike Judge is very much like a guy who like has guns and like is like, don't take away my guns kind of guy. So it feels like weird that he would make fun of people for being like too into violence or like guns or whatever.
Yeah. Although, and again, this is the thing though, is I think the movie has a lot more about the society being obsessed with sex than it does about violence. And I think violence would be an interesting component. Like aside from the big closing scene we'll get to, right, where they have like the arena thing. Like there's that violence, but like I feel like if I were making Idiocracy, right, and that's whatever, I wouldn't be making it, but if I was, I feel like I would have like just wars happening on the TV. You know what I mean? Like in the background. Because I think that could also be a funny juxtaposition too of everybody's like a moron and not paying attention, and in the background it's like fucking Paris nuked, you know, like something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
It could be an answer to like where all their like surplus, like all their like standard of living comes from. It's just like a massive amount of extraction from like the rest of the world. Could be like the thing that is a reason why no one seems to have any job and everyone seems to be able to like afford burgers that cost like $1 billion for some because of inflation or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's weird that they never like go into that. And I don't know if that has to do with like Judge's politics. Like he's not like, doesn't really care that much about foreign affairs or something.
Well, or rather that there's no foreign affairs related stuff that really annoys him. So it's just not worth talking about in the movie.
I mean, it's not the movie because it's not annoying to him.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's the guiding logic of Idiocracy. Because, you know, the guiding logic of Idiocracy is, a movie about war that has, I think, almost identical, like, way of doing things is Team America World Police, right? Where, have you seen that before?
I gotta say, I've seen it quite a few times.
Yeah, how do you feel about it?
I would say if you were gonna like make like a graph where like one axis was like how evil a movie is and how funny a movie is as the other axis, I would say Team America is less evil than Idiocracy in its worldview. No, they're both evil. They both have a fundamentally evil worldview. Like I think both siding the Iraq War is a fundamentally evil thing to do, but they're both very funny movies. Is a thing. Like, they both have really good bits in them, despite having a fundamentally vile worldview. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, because that's how I feel about Team America as well. I think there's a lot of jokes in it that I think are really funny, but both sides in the Iraq War and shit. And at the end of the day, what you could tell is going on with that movie is it's just a collection of fucking grievances and annoyances, because there's no world where you can put the genocidal military establishment, which the movie acknowledges as such, you know, as equally bad as celebrities in Hollywood who are kind of annoying. There's no way you can equate those, like, unless it's just about who annoys you personally.
So the Brondo Corporation, the stocks plummet.
Yeah, they riot.
They riot. Yeah, the dumb poors, the stupid poors who they just need to get it. They just need to, you know, just start your own business, idiot.
Just have patience. The technocrats know what they're doing, and it's gonna work out.
Just why don't you simply buy your own factory, and then you can be the boss, idiot. You stupid worker.
So in that time, they decide to we haven't talked about the actual president, which is funny. Terry Crews. Yes.
Oh, I love Terry Crews. So first off, Terry Crews having so much fun making this movie. He is having a blast. He loved making this movie. He was just like crazy about this role. Have you seen him he did like some publicity stunts in character as Camacho What was it? President, I was like, it was like Dwayne something Mountain Dew Camacho. His middle name is Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it's literally too long for Letterboxd. I have Letterboxd up and it doesn't dots eventually because it can't fit the whole name. But
he's been like doing so like he's like he's into this thing where he's been like going in character and he's like you know, he's like an ex-wrestler and he's just like somebody we might know. He was a television personality before becoming president.
Yeah, I think this alone is why people started talking about this movie again in 2016.
Yeah. The difference is, though, one thing I will say is kind of cool. This also seems like a post-racial society because people are kind of cool with having a black president. Like, you don't have, like...
See, more evidence. More evidence that this film is a communist utopia. See through the lines.
I think. Oh, I'm just saying that's an instance where I think reality was even dumber than Idiocracy. But
yeah, because 2 years after that movie, we'd see people get plenty fucking racist. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, so Terry Crews plays the president. Anyway, since Joe can't get the agriculture back, president turns on him and sends him into what is it, like re-education? I don't remember. Rehabilitation. That's right.
He's sentenced to 1 night of rehabilitation,
and he's like, "Oh, I can survive that." But rehabilitation, it turns out, is a giant arena with. Oh, go ahead. No.
Oh, it's a cross between a public execution and also a monster truck rally. Basically, guys getting killed by monster trucks.
I think the one it shows is like somebody in a giant lawnmower running over someone.
A guy in a bunny suit.
Yeah,
a guy in a bunny suit, and his like feet are chained together. He's like hopping around. He gets run over by a giant lawnmower.
Right, which is the only gesture toward like violence in this movie. It feels like one of the few like of violence being prevalent in the society because everybody's cheering it on or whatever. I think maybe the movie would just get too dark, but I wish it did more with that. You know what I mean?
I mean, there is like a violence, like you're watching, I think the Al My Ball show was on like the Violence Network.
Yeah.
Like there's a Violence Network and then there's the other one for jerking off. The Masturbation Network, maybe?
Yeah, something like the Bader
thing. Oh, one thing I just completely forgot from the first time I watched this movie was that the scene where he's when Frito is baiting is what he calls it when he's jerking off. The thing he's watching on the TV is just like a woman's feet cutting like a Salisbury steak with a knife and fork. like not something that I think most people would see as like being sex.
Right.
Which is I think it's a very funny that's a very funny like visual gag.
Right.
I mean, they keep coming back to this. This is a funny movie. Like this does, like if you take out all of like the fascist stuff, which is most of the movie, it's still a pretty funny movie.
Well, it's the framing device. It's that the individual gags are pretty funny, but like the guiding narrative is just like horrendous.
Right.
Yeah. So he gets sent to rehabilitation and, in that process, Rita and Frito are trying to figure out how to save him. I liked Frito. Frito is like, oh no, this is so sad. And then he's like, oh hell yeah, I love rehabilitation. Like he'll watch his friend get murdered on TV as long as it's on TV, that it's fun. Mm-hmm. That's a good bit. But no, so they're panicking, they're freaking out. He's gonna get killed.
Oh, there's a silly little like kind of like wordplay joke that they do where she says, "Take me there," and she points at the TV, like the rehabilitation on TV, and he just picks her up and takes her across the room next to the TV.
Yeah, Three Stooges shit. You know what I mean? Like that's awesome. Shit's always funny. That's like a classic vaudeville style joke. You know, that's a fun for the whole family kind of joke. I like those nice little clean comedy, little clever thing. So rehabilitation. Okay, they chain him to a giant rock, and then they can't close the door on the car. They have like a giant boulder has like its a chain attached to it and attached to his leg, and they just keep slamming the door on the car trying to close it. And so they figure out they just like drop the boulder on the car, and they just like attach like a big dildo to the front. This is flopping around. Yep.
And then they start the rehabilitation.
They do the rehabilitation, which he uses his smarts to overcome them.
Yes. There's this thing where there's the giant, like they introduced like a big, like a massive, I don't know what they're called, like a monster truck, like a monster truck with like a big like drill bit thing on the front.
Yeah.
And then it just can't get through the entrance, and then it like caves in, kills a bunch of people. And then yeah, he's able to win rehabilitation by basically, I mean, he kind of just wins by accident because the rock falls out of the back of the car, and then while the car's moving, it yanks him backwards, and the two other trucks just smash into each other and explode.
Oh, I took that as him doing that intentionally, but I might have been.
No, he just like
it just happens by accident.
The rock just falls out of the car. Like I don't think he intended that to happen. And then while the car's moving, the momentum just like pulled him back.
Yeah, so big explosion. He's won it. And then meanwhile, what's going on is Rita and Frito are trying to save him, and they realize that vegetables, the plantation, whatever, is starting to grow outside. See, they just needed to wait another day longer. And so that all combines for him to have his nice big heroic speech in front of everybody. And, say that, oh God. Yeah. Talking about, he gets to have his nice big heroic speech. And finally they accept him, whatever. It's all a happy ending. And finally he's going to get to go to the time machine, but Rita's going to stay behind. Because she likes that she's the smart, an incredibly smart person in this world. Well,
she's also free from Upgrade, who will go to nothing to get his money.
That's right.
And actually that's something we didn't mention, is that the whole movie, she's like nervous about Upgrade finding her, even though it's like he's obviously been dead.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
the future.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, Upgrade's going to find a way to find me, which is the funny thing about that is, did you watch the whole movie? Did you watch like the post-credit scene?
Oh no, I think I missed the post-credit scene.
Oh,
what happens in that? No, I didn't watch all the way.
Oh, I guess not. There's another cryogenic like stasis chamber opens up, and Upgrade comes out.
That's funny. That is pretty funny. Yeah.
So, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go find." Oh, he says something I don't think I can repeat. He's like, I gotta go find my, woman. My. He's gotta get his money.
I should have kept watching. I was just really done with the movie by the time the credits hit, and I was like, okay, got it, seen it.
Yeah. Which sets it up for a sequel.
It does.
Because now they got to deal with Upgrade in the future.
We need Idiocracy 2. Get on it, Mike Judge.
Absolutely. Come on, Mike Judge.
But Rita's going to stay in the future. And then, you know what? After some convincing, Joe decides he's going to stay in the future too. And, be the president and guide this world back into, surviving. And then we get like that final scene where it's like looking in the future, and we see that Rita and Joe are together now, and they're having kids, and then Frito is also having more kids than them. So, oh no, the cycle continues.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And I gotta say, Rita and Joe, zero chemistry the whole movie.
Movie. I don't buy this
at all. There's nothing there. I mean, they share a room together, and he sleeps on the floor because he's like a perfect gentleman. And there's just no, it's almost like he's like, because he's so smart, he's basically asexual until it comes time to propagate his superior intelligence. Then he's able to become horny. But like, yeah, it's because it's funny. It's like there's no romance the whole movie, and then it's like all of a sudden like, well, I guess there's nothing else for him to do. Like, there's no one else. I mean, I guess it has to be Rita,
right?
But played by Maya Rudolph, from SNL.
Man, which is totally like Luke Wilson and Maya Rudolph, both fun, very funny people. That I think that they would have nailed it in a better script. You know what I mean? Like they would have. They're trying their best in this movie. But yeah. So that's kind of the note it ends on, right? Is that the cycle is continuing, but they're having all these smart children. They're a handful of these smart children, and hopefully that's gonna help guide things, because everything must be broken in this like stupid way, like the agriculture problem, right?
Yeah. I think they were saying something about like there's like a nuclear reactor that's leaking in Florida.
Yeah.
And the guy says, no, that's in Georgia. And he says, Georgia's in Florida, dumbass, which got a little bit of a chuckle from.
Yeah, that's
from
a
me.
good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with now that we have like a superior race of people of like inferior intelligence to guide humanity into the future, everything's going to be okay in the end.
We introduced some smart back in the gene pool. It's going to be okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which, I mean, I was thinking about, because I was thinking about what direction to take this episode, because I was thinking about maybe talking about like IQ and like the history of it and like the sort of eugenicist roots of it or whatever. But I mean, like the movie does have like a fundamentally does have like a eugenicist like certain suppositions that like IQ is like heritable, that it's unchanging, it's heritable, it's pretty heavily, yeah. And I just think that's like feels gross to me, because like IQ is not real. Like I don't think it's like a real thing. I mean, I don't think you can like quantify someone's intelligence using like a number, like it just seems like something that's like obviously fake. But I think that Mike Judge is the kind of guy who I think he probably, got like tested as a kid or when he was younger, and he got like a pretty good IQ score. And so that kind of meant he was like special.
Yeah.
And I had a note that, I felt like this movie was written by somebody who was like bullied in school. And I watched some interviews and I was completely right. He was definitely a little teacher's pet, always raising his hand in class and getting beat up by kids for being smart.
This fits the jock nerd fascism thing I was talking about earlier too, right? He totally yes, it is a nerd resentment. This is a Revenge of the Nerds movie in some sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I know that Mike Judge is actually pretty like he went to school for like physics, and he used to work in like engineering before he started like doing animations and stuff. And I gotta say, we gotta do something about these STEM people. We really gotta. We really gotta, like, we as society need to do something about the STEM question.
You could totally tell though in this movie that he was well, it's like a nerd movie, but it's like a slightly self-deprecating, because the joke is Luke Wilson is super average, right? And so it's probably like, he knows there are smarter people in the world than him, but also, he's smart enough to see what's around him, see this culture around him, you know what I mean? And how dumb it is. He was above it. I think that's kind of the balance it's at. And so, yeah, it is you're totally right. It was a movie of somebody that's kind of like projecting that resentment.
I was a little fat kid all my life, and so I wasn't really popular in like middle school or whatever. But I still think that people, shouldn't. I think still. I don't think people are. I don't know. I think people shouldn't die from not having health care, I guess. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that.
Yeah, I don't think it's inherent to it.
Yeah. Like you can just, you can just become cool. You can try that. Well, like try growing up and like kind of getting over it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because like I don't know, I was like kind of bullied at different points in my growing up and shit. And I feel like if you go through that, there's like two options of how you kind of come out, which is like sort of type of like resentful misanthropy about the world, or like a sense of like sympathy that you develop from it, like because you've been treated like shit, you like have a better ability to empathize with others when you see them treated like shit, rather than I'm the one that should be on top. Actually, you know what this movie makes me think of too, and I was trying to find it. The movie makes me think of Rod Dreher a little bit in its attitude of like the bullied nerd who hates modern decadent society, right? The fascist, that kind of fascism. The only thing I could find was he mentioned it briefly in an article in the American Conservative, and it's not an article, it's like a single sentence. It's just like one of those days he's like phoning it in what he was writing there. It's from 2014, but it's called How Idiocracy Perpetuates Itself. And it's just a graph that showed that people who are more likely to be higher educated are less likely to let their kids watch a lot of TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, there you go.
Okay.
That's how Idiocracy, continues or whatever, which I think is interesting because it takes Idiocracy and kind of breaks it away from the genetic eugenicist stuff, but still shows how it's really vile. Even if you could like get rid of the eugenics logic, it's still like hating poor people. Essentially, that's what this boils down to. There's got to be better critiques of like, I don't know, TV being in our lives rather than it makes you dumb. I did a really kind of like cursed back to back with my movie watching this week because I last night watched Benny's Video. Have you ever seen that?
Benny's Video? I'm not familiar with that.
No, it's a Michael Haneke movie. So like Funny Games. I don't know if you've seen that one. It is a horrific movie that I can't in good conscience recommend to people. It's one of those. It has an actual animal actually dying on screen. That's the warning I would give to people. And it's the first scene of the movie. But it's what I think it's good at. What I think it was why I did like it is it's about it was made like in the early 90s and it's about like the video generation in Germany, getting obsessed with video. And so the kid that like the movie is following is a kid that's driving himself insane from the constant overstimulation of like life. He's got, watching weird videos and increasingly getting into like watching a video of a pig being slaughtered, stuff like that, right? He's going for darker and darker stuff, and he's constantly blasting music and shit like that, and then he eventually kills someone. So that's kind of like the trajectory of the movie, right? And that is, I don't think Idiocracy like should be like Benny's Video because that's a very different type of movie. I don't think it's like, I don't want to be like, oh, Idiocracy would be better if it was like this German art house movie. Like, that's ridiculous. But I would say is what I think it captured well that was missing from this is like just how much saturation of like violence and just constant stimulus around like seeing awful things playing out on the news. Like there's like a shot where he's like doing homework or whatever, and in the background the TV is playing footage of like the war in Bosnia going on at the time. You know what I mean? Like there's just this like sense that it's around you all the time. There's all this awful stuff over, playing out on the news that like I think was what this movie's missing to really have any sort of critique about like the modern overwhelming life. Does that make any sense? I think it needed that kind of violence or something.
I just think it needed to like drop. I think it just needed to just drop all the eugenic stuff. Really,
I think that's the
like. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know because the thing is, there's a part of me that does kind of defend the movie in the sense that I do think it is pretty funny at times. Like it has, like I've said quite a few times, it has a lot of really good bits scattered throughout. But I think the framing of the movie is kind of the thing that kills it. So I don't know if you could have like a different framing. Like I think generally like the idea of like just like a tech feudalism like dystopia is something that I think would be good.
Yeah.
Like everybody's addicted to constantly, getting like their stimulation, from like their screens and stuff is like, I mean, that is like definitely a thing that's happening, but
yeah.
I don't know. I just remember there's like several points in the movie where like I just like watch it and I'm like, oh no, oh my tummy, ow, oh this doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah,
yucky.
Well, because I think the problem, like I think what Idiocracy is fundamentally wrong about is it sees that like American consumerism or overstimulation or whatever is going to just make people stupider. But I think that it also needs like that it's going to make them numb. You know what I mean? And that's not the case. Everyone's like the wild masses obsessed with their senses. And that's what makes it feel really fascist to me, rather than like, I don't know, like people being so sucked into consuming that they like don't know how to connect to each other or something like that. That'd be like a real Brave New World thing. But then the thing is, as I'm saying all this, these are all so serious that I don't think you could do as funny of a movie if you introduce these aspects. So like, yeah, I don't know. I think the movie has got kind of just a rough problem with being considered an important political artifact by way too many people. That ruins, I think, that just the simple jokes of it, the classic Mike Judge shit, you know?
Yeah. Did you catch Mike Judge? He didn't write this movie by himself. There was another writer named Etan Cohen or Etan. I don't know how I misread it. So it's funny. I misread the
I misread it as Ethan Cohen also.
I thought it was like the whole movie. I thought, what, Ethan Cohen co-wrote this?
Yeah,
that's
you're
crazy.
Like trying to look at it in a different light. You're like, come on. Is there real Cohen brothers influence here?
Yeah, but no, it's actually a different guy. He has credits on Men in Black 3 and like
Tropic Thunder is the one I see, and that makes perfect sense.
2 episodes of Also, I saw on IMDb 2 episodes of Recess.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
interesting. I think we probably hit everything we can say about this movie.
Yeah.
maybe that's not true. Maybe if we kept digging, but I'm thinking like, I think the big takeaways are like, yeah, this movie definitely comes from like a point of like nerd fascist resentment, but not that Mike Judge intended it that way, but that's how it comes off. And that the eugenics framing device is fundamentally the problem with it.
My takeaway from this... No, sorry.
No, go for it.
My takeaway from this movie is that we need to do something about STEM, about
That's
people
it.
in STEM.
Yeah, we gotta get people out of STEM.
We gotta stop STEM.
You know, if Mike Judge had just been a humanities guy, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think we need to take mathematics out of STEM, put it into humanities where it belongs, and then team up and defeat technology and engineering once and for all. Science, I'm so on. I kind of like science, but yeah, we need to develop
the
defeat tech and engineering. The TE gotta go. Yeah,
the TE gotta go. S is on notice. On thin ice.
SS. Engineer SS.
Oh my god.
Technology. Technology. 3K.
Oh man.
Oh man. Yeah.
Well, I think they probably move toward wrapping up here. Do you is there anything, well, I guess any final thoughts that you want to say before I wrap up? I don't want to like cut you off if there's anything that you were itching to say. Okay.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, man,
if do you want to put like your Twitter or shit if people want to follow you or whatever? Or do you care?
Man. So I'm on Twitter at cigarette_liker, and I'm at Blue Sky at cigaretteliker.bluesky.social.
Bisky.
Bisky.social. There's underscore in the Twitter one. There's no underscore in the Blue Sky one. And then I don't really use many other socials. I mean, at least, I go on YouTube a lot. I like to watch videos on YouTube. I'm kind of at the point now where looking at like Twitter, like for longer than 15 minutes at a time makes me want to die. And then Blue Sky is like also annoying, but like in a different way. And I don't know.
Twitter is just people like sig heiling all the time. And you go over to Blue Sky and it's like 5 people trying to cancel each other.
Yeah. Twitter is basically ads for like ads that are just like a big busty woman, and if you click on it, it'll take you to a site that'll drain your crypto wallet. And then Blue Sky is basically just like fat guys posting pictures of their terrible penises. Like you just look at like furry porn, fat guys posting their terrible hogs, and then like 5 people who like have like the most inscrutable internecine conflicts that like and just canceling each other. And so basically, I've been getting really into playing Hades. Like I've been obsessively playing Hades. Yeah. So yeah, check me out. Check out. I mean, I guess they can't really link to my Hades account. So,
check out the game Hades. And
check out the game Hades. It pretty much has infinite replayability. And there's something about it being popular with bisexuals. I don't know. I guess it's like popular in the LGBTQ community. So, you know, if you're one of those, try Hades. It's fun. It's, you know, yeah. I mean, I don't really have anything to plug. I've been thinking about, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been thinking about, I want to try to do some like more creative projects this year. Like, because I kind of feel like, I don't know. I kind of want something more than just like dumb hedonism to take up my like free time, you know, like like I don't want to just like fucking like play video games and watch movies like all the time. I kind of want to like figure out something to do like with myself. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm that's kind of my goal for the year is just like pick up like something.
So everybody listening to this, go follow James on Twitter and then at him ideas you have for creative things he could do.
Yeah. If you want me to come on your podcast and then I kind of like ramble for a little bit and then interrupt you and also kind of like start a thought and then like trail off a bit, then I think you could probably like invite me on, you know, and
yeah, hell yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what were we talking about?
We're wrapping up here, but yeah. You should come back. You should come back. We will.
Oh yeah.
We'd love to do
I mean,
that.
podcasting is fun. It's fun.
It is.
Just, you know, it's. I don't feel like you know, I don't think I can do it because I kind of want to like, you know, make my money through honest means, but I think it's a pretty cool. I don't want to be a parasite on society.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man.
Speaking of which, well, if you're listening to this, you've already given me your money, so.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say definitely people should actually follow you though. You are one of the funniest people I follow. So, always doing good bits.
Man. Yeah, I don't know. I think my posts are kind of derivative now.
I think
like basically I've just been posting like stuff like the Hamburglar is the enemy of the people.
Yeah, that makes me laugh.
Joe Biden, why aren't you doing something about the Hamburglar issue?
Yeah,
I just post about like the Hamburglar, not Hamburglar crimes. I mean, hamburger crimes. I don't know, man. I feel like I had a lot of fun on Twitter over the past like 5 years or whatever. What is it, 2019? So yeah, I've been like on there for like almost 5 years now, and I kind of like a good amount of following. I kind of feel like I kind of grew as big as I'm going to get on there, so I kind of like care less about like growing my like quote unquote brand and more just like, you know, just like riffing with people, you know.
Well, that's why I'm saying people should follow you is because like on the whole, I don't feel like you're discoursing very often. Like you will you're one of the only people on my feed that'll just post like just a joke. You know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, people will do like a mild pushback on me and I'll get like so mad I have to like walk away from my phone for a minute. I do not like I don't like getting into arguments at all, man. Like seriously, like I don't know, man. I'm just there to, because it's like, I don't know. I think if I post a little bit harder, I guess I'd fix I don't know. I'll fix Israel Palestine once and for all or something. I don't know. I think that. Like, I feel like that's like a thing where I just don't think posting does anything. You know, so it's just like, oh, discoursing does anything. So I just kind of like, you know, I just kind of post whatever I feel like. But I hope people like it. I mean, I hope that, you know, I make someone chuckle or whatever. I mean, that makes me really happy when people like, you know, respond positively to my posts. And I mean, while we're blowing smoke with each other's asses, I mean, I really enjoy your stuff. Like, I really enjoy your podcast. I think you've been doing a really good job with Fruitless. You know, I really enjoy listening to the episodes. I mean, I'll never pay for the Patreon because I have like a very strict no paying for podcasts policy. But
I'm totally okay with that. That's totally
if if I ever find a bootleg feed, I'll definitely listen to the Patreon episodes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll
dude.
send you a file of this one because it feels. I always do that when I have people on the Patreon because I feel weird being like, "Hey, you were on my show, but to listen to it, you need to give me $3."
Yeah, I mean, I told a couple of people I was going on today, and I'm like, you can't listen to it. I'm like, I'm safe. You can't.
That's what I've been having fun with the Patreon episodes is I feel a little safer with stuff I could say out here because it's like nine people currently are able to listen to this. I
mean, it's pretty cool that you were able to like break even on Patreon though. Like I heard you on like another episode talking about how your Patreon like pays for all your subscriptions.
Yes. One of the funniest of that being that I'm subscribed to Worst of All Possible Worlds, right?
Yeah, I turned you on to those guys.
Yes, you did. You were the one who introduced me, and now I've had 2 and maybe a third one shortly on the show. But
cool.
No, so I'm subscribed to their Patreon, right? And they're subscribed to my Patreon. And so that means we're just passing the same $3 around.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah. That's what Patreon is slowly turning into is just like 10 people like kind of passing $5 around to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well.
Oh
man.
But I will say, thank you everybody for listening and all that good stuff. And yes, I will bring James back. You're coming back. It's always a good time.
Well, I mean, only if there's like popular demand. I'm not gonna intrude if people demand it. People have spoken.
Well, I'm saying people should. People speak out.
Okay.
This. Yeah.
I don't know. I think you should probably scrap this one. It's all garbage.
I had a fun time. So.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, all right. Well.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and I'll see you later this month.
This episode of Fruitless Podcast is brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Can you hear me eating?
Can
you hear me munching and chomping?
A little bit, but I can cut it out, so no worries.
Oh, really?
I could silence that as long as you don't talk while eating at any, like, you know what I mean? Where
the actual technology.
Words, yeah. I have to cut out background noise all the time.
The actual words of me eating.
Yeah. Okay. So if you do that, for instance, that'll be a problem.
You can't edit me having food in my mouth.
No, I cannot do that.
Damn. All right, let's go.